Noswaith dda, good evening. A protest at the Senedd today saw students demonstrate their growing frustration around A-level grades. Yesterday, Qualifications Wales announced that they had changed the appeal process after many results were downgraded. Here's our political reporter, Teleri Glyn-Jones.
Hundreds of students came to Cardiff Bay today to voice their discontent. No exams because of the pandemic meant A-levels and AS-level qualifications were awarded based on teachers' predictions. But when Qualifications Wales decided the grades were too generous, 42% of them were downgraded, leaving many bitterly disappointed.
There's so many time-sensitive factors in applying to university, and people just can't wait for an appeal.
I think whatever the solution is, it needs to be involving students.
Their students have gotten an A star out of C. So really what I want to see happen is the teacher assess grades, the CAGs, to be put in place.
The teachers know us far better than the people in the WJEC.
Meanwhile, 22,000 people have signed a petition calling on the Welsh Government to rethink their approach and to award students the grades their teachers had predicted. Adam Price, Plaid Cymru's leader, says the process has stolen young people's futures. He's considering legal action.
Well, we're in discussion with the Good Law Project that have already announced in England that they'll be bringing a judicial review test case against Ofqual and the UK government, and we'll be hoping to work in parallel with them, so the Welsh Government has to respond to the very same questions.
The Children's Commissioner, Sally Holland, has now written to Universities UK alongside the UK's other Children's Commissioners, calling on them to honour the offers they made to students to go to university. The Welsh Government has widened the scope for appeal and announced all appeals will be free, but there are no plans at present to change the system and reinstate teachers' grades. But the resentment grows amongst these young people and the political pressure is mounting.
From today, people across Wales who've been shielding because of coronavirus have been able to leave their homes again. The change in Welsh Government advice means around 130,000 people can now go to work, school or out shopping. One of those is Paddy Murphy, who has been in lockdown in her Newcastle Emlyn home because of a heart and lung condition.
I've been down that high street hundreds of times, but it felt like a new experience. So I was feeling quite nervous. By the time I got to the shop, less so, and I had a conversation with a neighbour, which was quite heartening. And so on the way back, I felt better.
There have been 2 more deaths of people with coronavirus reported by Public Health Wales, taking the total number here to 1,589, although this figure is known to be far higher. Tributes have been paid to a police officer from Pwllheli in Gwynedd who died following a jet bike accident yesterday afternoon. The officer has been named locally as Barry Davis. His family said he absolutely loved his job, and North Wales Police have called it a dark day. A local councillor there says he's still in shock.
Couldn't believe it. It was obviously something terrible had happened when we saw the emergency services responding. And when we heard it was Barry, a popular guy here in Pwllheli, it was just a massive shock to us all, to the community.
The guidance to only use public transport for essential use ends from tomorrow. The restrictions were brought in during lockdown when buses and trains were mainly used by key workers. The Welsh Government said the change was part of a phased approach to easing restrictions. Wearing face masks, though, will still be compulsory on public transport here, but there are exemptions on health grounds and for under 11s. A look at the weather forecast now, and tonight there is a yellow weather warning in place. Showers and longer spells of heavy rain are expected with a risk of thunder and lows of 14 degrees Celsius. As for tomorrow, another warm and humid day with showers expected, often heavy with a risk of thunder. Some bright and sunny spells are possible though as the day goes on, with highs of 22 degrees Celsius. That's all from us. We'll be back with your next update tomorrow morning throughout breakfast. Until then, have a good night. Nos da.